What is legislative intent, and why is it important? Have you ever wondered what lawmakers really meant when they created a law? Understanding legislative intent is key to grasping the full picture. Legislative intent refers to the purpose or plan that lawmakers had in mind when they crafted a law. It answers the question, what did the authors of the law hope to achieve? This concept is especially important in law school, where students learn to read and interpret legal texts, particularly statutes. When you encounter a law, the language can sometimes be straightforward, but often it can lead to various interpretations. This is where understanding legislative intent becomes essential. Courts and lawyers need to determine the meaning of the law and how it should apply to real-life situations. By examining the intent behind a law, they can interpret the wording in a way that aligns with the lawmaker's goals. To uncover legislative intent, you must look beyond the law's text. This involves researching the history of how the law was developed. Key documents include committee reports, legislative debates, and any changes made to the bill during its journey through the legislative process. These materials provide context about the issues the law aimed to address and the objectives lawmakers sought to fulfill. In law school, students learn to utilize these research tools effectively. For instance, if a law was enacted to protect consumers from fraud but has vague language regarding a specific business practice, a court may refer to the legislative history to clarify whether that practice falls under the law's protections. This process is integral to legal reasoning and helps students understand how laws are applied in actual cases. Understanding legislative intent is vital because it ensures that laws are interpreted and enforced in a manner consistent with their original purpose. If courts relied solely on the literal wording of a law, they might overlook the underlying reasons for its creation. By considering legislative intent, courts can avoid outcomes that contradict the lawmaker's original goals. For law students, mastering the research and argumentation surrounding legislative intent is a practical skill. It strengthens arguments in class discussions and legal writing. Students learn to identify and analyze legislative history, recognize when intent is clear or ambiguous, and articulate how intent influences the interpretation of a law. Legislative intent is the driving force behind a law's creation, and it plays a significant role in how laws are understood and applied. Law students must be adept at finding and utilizing legislative intent to interpret legal texts and argue effectively about their meanings. This skill is fundamental to legal reasoning and is essential for anyone aspiring to be a successful lawyer. When reading a statute, always consider what the lawmakers aim to achieve. Look for clues in the law's history and context to build strong arguments about its meaning and application. This approach will sharpen your legal reasoning skills and improve your ability to analyze legal texts.